Good morning everyone. How are you doing? I hope you all are doing great. So in our last class we started a new chapter, that is sorting material into groups. Okay, so where we discussed about introduction of the chapter, we discussed about what is object, what is material, how object is different from material, right? Also we discussed about why sorting is needed, why sorting is required, because sorting helps to identify the property of a particular material, right? So we discussed about some properties of materials, like we discussed appearance. In appearance we studied about lustrous and non-lustrous materials, and we discussed about hard and soft materials, right? What do you mean by hard materials? So materials which cannot be compressed are known as hard material. For example, metal. Compressed means stretched, right? Which can't be stretched. And soft materials are those materials which can easily be compressed, like rubber, okay, which can easily be stretched. Okay, and lustrous means shiny. The materials which shine are known as lustrous materials, and the materials which do not shine are known as non-lustrous materials. For example, non-lustrous may paper, plastic, and lustrous may metals. In metals, gold, jewelry, right? But we also studied about some metals lose their shine when they come in contact with air. Okay, for example, iron. When iron reacts with air, when iron reacts with oxygen and water vapor present in air, it forms different substance, that is iron oxide, which is known as rust. So rusting of iron means iron को जंग लग जाना. Okay, so some metals, even copper, lose their shine when copper comes contact with air. Okay, so today we will discuss about some more properties of materials. So let's start. Okay, so your next property is solubility, right? So we know that water dissolves a large number of materials, but it cannot dissolve all the materials, right? So some materials that are soluble in water, whereas some other materials are insoluble in water. So all the materials can be classified into two groups on the basis of their solubility. Okay, that is materials which are soluble in water and materials which are insoluble in water. You can do one activity at your home, right? So we take a test tube and fill it half with water and add half a spoon of sugar in it. Shake the test tube well and observe it. You will find that the sugar has disappeared into water. So we say that sugar has dissolved in water, or that sugar is soluble in water. And please note that the sugar is still there in water, but its particles have become so small and spread so uniformly in water that we cannot see them. So we conclude that sugar is a material which is soluble in water. Some more materials which are soluble in water are common salt, copper sulfate, alum, milk, lemon juice. Okay, so water containing a dissolved material in it is called a solution. For example, water having sugar dissolved in it is called sugar solution. If water having salt dissolved in it, then it is called salt solution. So and you can take another example. Just add half a spoon of sand in it in the water. Okay, and shake the test tube well and observe it. You will find that sand settles down at the bottom of the test tube, and sand doesn't dissolve in water. So from this activity you conclude that sand is a material which is insoluble in water, right? Some more materials which is insoluble in water are chalk powder, sulfur, glass, plastic, paper, etc. Okay, now let's discuss the solubility of some liquid materials in water. Okay, so oil is insoluble, but glycerin is soluble. We know that. So we can say that liquid is soluble in water, or liquid is miscible with water. For example, just do the activity. Okay, you can take oil. You know that oil, mustard oil, right? It is an edible oil, and we take a test tube and fill it half with water, add some mustard oil to it, shake the test tube and allow it to stand for a few minutes and observe. You will see two separate layers of water and mustard oil in the test tube. So water being heavier forms a lower layer in the test tube, whereas mustard oil being lighter forms the upper layer in the test tube. So mustard oil is insoluble in water, or mustard oil is immiscible with water. Groundnut oil, coconut oil, kerosene, petrol, there are some other liquid materials which are insoluble in water or immiscible with water. Now let's discuss the solubility of gases in water. Some gases dissolve in water, whereas other gases do not dissolve in water. In other words, some gases are soluble in water, whereas other gases are insoluble in water. For example, oxygen. Oxygen gas dissolves in water. That means oxygen gas is soluble in water. The plants and animals which live in water use the oxygen dissolved in water for respiration, right? So carbon dioxide gas also dissolve in water. That is, carbon dioxide gas is also soluble in water. Okay, so the plants which live in water use the carbon dioxide dissolved in water for the process of photosynthesis. There are, however, some gases which do not dissolve in water, right? And the gases are nitrogen and methane. Okay. So your next property is classification of materials on the basis of their heaviness or lightness. Okay, or you can say floating or sinking. So some materials are heavier than water, whereas some other materials are lighter than water. So heaviness or lightness of a material is indicated by the term density. Okay, a substance which is heavier than water is said to have higher density than water, whereas a substance which is lighter than water is said to have lower density than water. Okay, so in order to find out whether a material is heavier than water or lighter than water, we put a piece of the material in a vessel containing water. The material which sinks in water is heavier than water. The material which floats on water is lighter than water. Alright, so just do this activity at your home. Just take a beaker and fill it about 2/3 with water and drop an iron nail in this water. Alright, so you will find that iron nail sinks in water and settles down at the bottom of the beaker. This activity showed that iron is a material which is heavier than water. Okay, and let us now take another beaker and fill it about 2/3 with water. Drop a small piece of wood in the water and you will find that the piece of wood starts floating on the water. So it doesn't sink in water. This activity shows that wood is a material which is lighter than water. Some of the examples of materials which are lighter than water are wood, plastic, dry leaves, oil, right, kerosene, petrol. So all the materials which are lighter than water float on water. Is it clear? I hope it's clear. Now your next property is transparency. What is transparency? Let's talk about in terms of light. So transparency is associated with light. There are certain objects which allow light to pass through them, and there are certain objects which doesn't allow light to pass through them. Okay, so based on these all objects are classified into 3 types, that is transparency, translucent and opaque. So transparency, which allow the light to pass through them, and the materials through which we can see clearly are called transparent materials. Alright, this property of material is called transparency. For example, glass, air, water, some plastics. So these are the example of transparent materials. Transparent materials are called pardarshi in Hindi. Okay, so next is opaqueness, right, which do not allow light to pass through them, and through the materials through which we cannot see the objects are called opaque materials, and this property of materials are called opaqueness. Are you getting my point? Opaqueness. So any example? it's wood, right? Block of wood, you are not able to see the other side, right? So metal is also the example of opaque object. So next property is translucency. So objects which partially allow light to pass through them, and in this what happens, those materials through which we cannot see clearly, but we will able to see partially, so these materials are known as translucent materials. For example, ground glass, butter paper, oil paper, tissue paper, muddy water, clouds, these are the example of translucent. So as you can see here glass is transparent, this tin is opaque. Okay, this transparent, opaque and translucent, here you can see, right? Is it clear to everyone? I hope it's clear to everyone. What do you mean by transparency? What is the differentiate between transparent, opaque and translucent? So your next property is state. Okay, it's state. So most materials can be placed into one of the three groups, that is solid, liquid, gas, right? So solids do not easily change their shape or volume. You can move a box from one place to another, but its shape and volume doesn't change. Are you getting my point? And next is liquids. Liquids change shape but not volume. Pouring milk from a jug into a tumbler causes milk to take the shape of the tumbler, but you leave it. So when you pump air into a football, the air fills the football and takes its shape, and its volume also changes. Okay, so in the solid state, let's see the particle arrangement in solid, liquid and gas. In the solid state, the molecules of the metal are closely packed. They cannot move freely. They can only vibrate. That is why solids are rigid and have a definite shape. Metals mostly cannot be compressed. However, under the influence of an external force, some solids can change their shape but regain the same shape when the force is removed. So some solids can be compressed when subjected to an outside force. A solid substance also has a definite mass and volume. Next is liquid. So in liquid, the metal in its liquid state has a definite mass and volume. It occupies the same amount of space, but it doesn't have any definite shape, and the molecules are loosely packed. They are slightly far away from each other, and they can easily move. They are free to move. That is why liquids flow and do not have a definite shape. All right. Next, gases. Gas is the lightest state of matter. The molecules that make up a gas are far apart, and the molecules of a gas move about freely. That is why matter in its gaseous state spreads in the entire available space, and it doesn't have a definite shape or volume. Gases can be compressed to a greater extent. Okay, so what happens when an incense stick is burnt? Incense stick, dhupbatti, its fragrance spreads in the whole room. This is because smoke is a gas and all gases spread in the available space. Are you getting my point? Okay, so that's it. Your chapter is completed. I hope this is clear to you all, and if you face any problem in any of the topic, you can ask me in the class. Bye everyone. Take care.